Hey guys, how's it going? What you're looking at is a breakdown of a really cool thing I just set up between the MLB algorithm, the baseball algorithm that predicts baseball games over here, and a Round Robin Parlay Tracker. All right, so I'm try to use words that aren't ridiculous. So basically, if you're betting on baseball, there's so many different things that you can do with I would call this artificial intelligence. I mean, it's an algorithm. It's something that's doing a calculation for you, a complex calculation and comparison of games. It's providing you with information. It didn't work out tonight, but I was looking over my history, and I was looking over my cash out history and my wins, losses, and I was like, I never promise anyone that you're going to win every day. I actually tell everyone, I guarantee you will not win every day. You can't win every day. It's impossible. But you can win a certain proportion of the time. And sometimes you can win so much that you can make multiples on your money. And so I was like, well, what has been going on in my history as I've been testing this out when I have availability to use a service like FanDuel that allows you to make micro bets, which is what I'm going to talk about in the Round Robin Parlay Calculator. A micro bet is essentially there is a 10-cent minimum limit that the FanDuel service has in Virginia and all states, at least that I've seen it active in. And you can bet as little as a dime on a combination. So I'm going to show you the history because I've connected this Round Robin Parlay Tracker thing, which shows you what your wager would be. Say you bet on these 8 teams. It's the Dodgers, the Cubs, Houston, all these teams today. It shows whether or not they won and lost. You would have wagered $24.60, and you would have lost. You would have lost almost everything, which is pretty much actually what I did today, sort of in this fashion, and I did lose almost everything. But that's okay. You're not going to win every day. Remember that. You're not going to win every day. And to show you how cool this is, to show you how you're going to win and when you win, we're going to experiment for the very first time. I've only looked back one day so far. I just connected this, and I looked back one day. That was the 17th. The 17th shows this. Take a look at how we can actually look through this here. It shows that you actually would have gone 7-1, and you would have made 3-1 on your money, basically. You would have made 300%. So that's a day you would have won. This is doing 8 picks. You don't always have to do 8. But this is just show. I want to prove to you the algorithm does have potential. All right? Day before. And also, here's another thing, by the way. You also don't necessarily take teams at this line. Maybe you take them -1.5 because they're a bad line. Sometimes they win or lose, so there's a different payout there as well. This is just showing you money line payouts, which still need to be profitable. So you had one losing day, and we had one 3-1 day. And even though this shows 3-1, you can play these games. You can live bet these games if these teams go down, and you can live bet them if they're losing because the algorithm says they're supposed to win and they're high up on this list here. There's a lot of things you can do now and make micro bets frequently to take advantage of fluctuations in lines throughout the game and combine these things together. So a 3-1 day could be a much, much better day when you bet a lot of these teams, which goes 7-1 in the top 8. And there's even more down here if you bet more of these other games, but I'm just grabbing the top 8, right? So that's a very good day. Day before that, bad, lose almost everything. So we have awful, really good, like 3-1, then bad. Then we have pretty good. Here's a 45% profit day, going 6-2. And by the way, look at the losses down here. Meaning you played the top 5. If instead of playing 8, you played 5 every day. Let's show 5 instead of 8 for a second here. I think we need to get rid of this as well. Okay. You'll see that you make almost 4-1 here, basically, if you're playing 5. Let's show what 5s look like as we keep going back. Next day, get destroyed. Right, totally lose. Here's an awful day going 2-3, and you can see also what would have happened below by looking at that. Here's like almost a break-even day going 3-2. Okay, hitting some underdogs apparently there. Bad, pretty good, Here's a day making 40%, but hitting the top 4, right? Here's pretty darn good, even though we don't have lines on these teams. So that's screwing stuff up, but that's a pretty good day. Here's pretty good, 61%, right? So what you're starting to see, here's pretty good. So what you're starting to see is that basically you don't win every day, but you go through strings of winning. And what I calculated in my my view of transactions win losses over this year being 2022, as we are already in May, I noticed that I had waves, and it was 5-day waves was on average what happened, meaning at one point during 5 days I would hit one of these big days, right? Like something like yesterday, which I didn't bet yesterday. But you'd hit something like this. I don't know why it didn't. I just changed a little bit, but because we passed over midnight, right? And games changed by days. Actually, that's why this payout changed. Anyway, point is it's pretty fascinating to see what the fluctuations are, but it seems like about a 5-day fluctuation. So I'm going to start thinking of this in terms of weeks. I'm even going to give it 7 days. And I'm going to say at some point during the 7-day period, you're on average going to hit one of these big ones, and you need to then pay out more than 7-1 to be up overall for the week. So I'm going to show you how that works as I'm going to mess around with that with micro bets, because this is the point, is that the micro bet situation is showing you. Can you imagine betting $24 and what happens if you win this game? You get 258. I've seen micro bets, and I've done micro bets where I bet $10 and I have a chance at winning $1,400 hitting 7 games. And of course, I've only hit that very, very infrequently, but I do hit it sometimes. Not unusually on that large of a payout, but I've done ones for $20, $30 that have paid $1,300, and you're just like, you just hit a string, right? You hit a string. There's a string of 8 right there. You hit a string of 7 or 8, and you just get paid because you don't miss any of them in a round robin. So it's fascinating to show to think about how to handle it, and I'll keep going every day, and I'll explain on days like today. I lost probably 90% of what I wagered. I had 90% of the $94 I wagered. Tomorrow I'm going to wager $94 again, and we'll see what happens. And the next day I'm going to wager $94. And at one point you're going to be like, oh yeah, I cashed out for like $1,100 today. You'd be like, what? Be like, yeah, like everything won. It was crazy. That's the way this works. So I'll just keep kind of letting everyone know as we do this every day how that's going. And I'm going to be using the algorithm, and as you can see, it's not going to have a good day every day. Expect to get spanked like 2 out of every 4 days, really. Spanked. That's bad. Yeah, we don't have to keep going through it. Point is that's what you need to expect. So think of it that way when you're wagering. I would never bet your entire bankroll in one day or something, because you are so going to lose it if that's what you do. And I think that there's a tendency for us to want to do something like that but then understand that what you're putting up for that day, you are absolutely potentially have a chance of losing it all. So plan on that. And I always do. And I think you should too, because it makes for, I believe, doing this appropriately. All right. Good luck, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday for an update. And, of course, I don't have hockey up, but I believe the Calgary game is 6-5 going into the third period right now. For those who are paying attention, it's 7-6. Unbelievable. What is going on in Calgary? It's a shootout. So good luck, everybody. May all your picks